Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chris Cooper, known as the Channel Guy Trader, and I'm reporting to you live from Wall Street Trading's Miami office down in sunny South Florida. Today's date is July the 1st, 2013, and here is today's midday market update brought to you by wallstreettrading.com. It's the first day of the quarter, and we are having a nice little upbeat market tape action today here. We're seeing the Dow Jones is up 153 points, the Nasdaq's up 45, the Russell 2000's up 15, S&P's up about 17.5 points. We're seeing some strength in the euro, some weakness in the dollar. We're seeing commodities up across the board. We actually noticed that this morning that the bonds were weak from overnight. Commodities were up overnight, so that kind of gave us a risk on bias this morning, expecting some long action, and that's exactly what happened this morning. So we were positioned on the right side of that. If you take a look at the SLV's up 10 cents. JJC Copper is up $1.32. GDX is up 65 cents. GLD's up $2.42, getting a nice bounce in this basic material sector. And USO crude oil is up 51 cents, and it's pretty interesting that crude oil is back above that 98 handle after getting sold off last week from some of the talk about the global slowdown. Crude oil is actually able to rally all the way back up towards that 98 level. Again, if we start holding over 98 on the crude oil, we could possibly start seeing $100 a barrel here in the short term. And of course, that won't be good for us consumers at the pump, as we'll be losing some of our buying power, some of the discretionary income that we use to buy Starbucks coffee and all other good stuff. So keep an eye on some of those inverse trades that you could expect to move to the downside if crude oil continues to make its move to the top side, like the airlines and all the other good stuff. Aside from that, taking a look at the ES action today, again, we had a nice little rally from overnight. 1594 was a nice little base level down here on the ES. 1594 had some resistance right here at 1610. And then once we broke over 1610, that's what really ignited the market to the top side here. We take a look at the 15-minute chart, which is right here in the middle. We're having some trouble breaking past 1620. And if we break past 1620, the next level to watch is 1624. We're really just trading in a range here between 1616 and 1620, a nice little 4-point range after the morning upside move. So if everything remains the same, we most likely would be expecting this to make a continuation move sometime in the afternoon. If you take a look at the 5-minute chart, you can see the same thing here. We had that nice little band of resistance that's been in play from last week, Thursday. All right, you see we failed at those levels before. We failed at those levels again on Friday. And then right here on the open, we broke right through that supply band of resistance, and now we're back above it. So as long as we could even hold above 1614, that would be pretty good. So if they even take us back down below these 1616s. If we stop at the 1614, that would be a good area to try to pick up some longs. So we'll see how that plays out. As far as the ETF goes, for some of you guys out there that watch the ETFs to trade the markets, of course you see the same thing on the SPY. Nice little up move, sideways consolidation from 162 at 162.40, little 40-cent range here. Most likely this consolidation should lead to the upside in the same direction as the trend. Again, the SPYs are back above that key 161 level that we've been mentioning from the triple forms of resistance that they have on the daily chart. So as long as we go hold above that 161 level, we start close above that 161 level this week, that'll look pretty good. Triple Qs, they're hanging in there still. They're kind of lagging a bit now. The Russell 2000 is the strongest index. If you guys recall, the Russell 2000 was showing some nice relative strength last week. We mentioned the fact that this will be the go-to sector to buy if the indices were to trade up together, and that's exactly what's happening. As you could notice, that relative strength that was showing last week to the other indices. Now, if you take a look at some stocks today, we actually had some decent stocks on the radar so far this morning. We talked about CSIQ before the open. They had some news out of India, I believe it was, with a contract they had. That's been causing some decent momentum in some of the solar stocks. So we had a nice little move that we caught from this one. I believe we bought like around 11.85, and we were able to sell some up there around 12.05. Not a big move, but 20 cents on a $12 stock isn't bad. Next trade that we were watching was STX. This was called out from one of the guys in the chat room. And again, if you have not been in the chat room yet, it's mywallstreettv.com. To log into the room, you have to make sure you go to the website, wallstreettrading.com, and fill out the free trial form, which should take you about 1 minute, and then you'll get the email sent to you in another minute, and you'll be able to log the access the chat room. So STX was called out by one of the traders. He actually called this one out for a long. Give me 1 second here. He actually called this one out for a long up here for a break over a 45.55, but he gave you a nice little low risk entry down here, which I was not able to catch, but we did buy it over the 45.55, and it made a nice little move to 78. So that was some decent action there, even though the best entry was to pick it up down here at the little hammer move down there. But again, still worked out pretty decent. The next trade that we're in right now, which we mentioned this one on the Facebook before it happened, is this WLT. We noticed the strength. We noticed the strength in some of the other coal stocks like BTU and CNX. So we decided to take a look at WLT, and it also made sense for the fact that WLT is the one that everybody's been trying to put a takeover bid in. So it makes sense that this one would really be like one that could catch a nice momentum into it, and that's exactly what it's doing right here, as you guys can see. So again, if you want to catch some of these trades and see how we call it live in the room, how we read the tape action on it, you got to go to the chat room, mywallstreettv.com, to access the chat room. Again, you have to go to the website and fill out the form on the right-hand side. Aside from that, hope you guys are having a great day, and I'll catch you guys for the After the Bell market summary. Cheers.